One Limited is what, Stephen Patterson?
Business Improvement District Company for Newcastle City Centre.
Blackfriars are a restaurant which is where, Andy Hook?
Just off South Street, the Chinatown of Newcastle, right in the former monastery. Bit of grass right in the centre of Newcastle.
All right. This week's is a culinary experiment in Toon. The city's having its first restaurant week. Restaurants put on special summer menus for a one-off budget price. In this case, it's a tenner, I think. Everywhere, is it? And then,
Absolutely.
And that hopefully will entice people to come back. I think that's in it. Did I ask you what's in it for a restaurant like Blackfriars? I can't remember now because I was digging.
Yeah, you did actually.
Oh, did I?
Yeah,
Well, we'll just get over that one.
whether your listeners were listening or not, I don't know.
But the thing is, I mean, it can be pricey to eat out, especially in the current climate. You know, there's a certain restaurant I know and I go to, which I've mentioned. I never get out of there without spending 70 quid.
How many drinks do you have?
Yes. Well, the thing is, the trouble is restaurants never do the only shardy I want. But that one did find one the other day, I have to say. But no, I mean, is it a big cost to you to do something like that?
Yeah, because we give a lot more than what we would do normally at that price point. I think the difference between us and New York, these are sample dishes. These are proper full plates of food that we're offering. You know, we cater to the northeast diet. People like a decent plate for. So I think the two deals that the restaurants are doing. I'll carry on talking while you're eating. Are two courses for a tenner, or, as we're doing at Blackfriars, a main course and a glass of wine or a beer or a soft drink if you want for 10 quid.
And a pudding.
And the idea is it's accessible, and I think we'll get a lot more people in through the door. We might not make so much money as we normally do, but it doesn't matter if there's a whole new audience that see these restaurants. And the eating out scene in Newcastle at the moment is fantastic.
Common people in your restaurant, do you?
We'll have anyone who wants to pay.
Anybody who wants to pay. Would you let Troy sit down?
Absolutely. Have you had enough of me?
Well, he's prettier than you.
Go and argue with that one.
Troy is head chef at Blackfriars. Have you got lots of attitude?
I've got a fair bit of attitude.
So, I mean, is it in your kitchen like we see on the telly?
Not particularly, no. There's moments where it gets a bit heated, but everyone generally keeps their cool.
I'd cry. If you shouted at me, I would cry.
I haven't yet made anyone cry.
Do you have to be a bit of a egomaniac to be a chef?
I'd say yes.
Why?
Everyone has a bit of an ego.
So cooking, love. Do you know what I mean? What is your speciality?
Well, British food, really. All things British, all things local, just things like that.
This scheme, is it all pressure for the chef?
I'd say that creating a menu where it's certainly a lot cheaper than what we'd normally offer is a bit of a challenge. But then I think that really sort of comes from getting well-priced ingredients and sort of treating them well. So it's definitely, doable.
We'll do the headlines in about half an hour. I've got food to eat, Helen. So what have you got? This is what?
That's potted beef with homemade sourdough and homemade brown sauce, which is particularly popular. Everything about it is homemade. So,
is this what we'd get for £10?
You'd be lucky to get all of that for £10.
Okay.
But
which bit would I get?
You would get a larger sized portion of the ox cheek with a drink for £10.
And the ox cheek, which you've just cooked for me, is very nice.
Yeah.
And it melts on the tongue.
Yeah, it's, in my opinion, the best cut to use if you're slow cooking beef.
Sorry, say that again.
It's, in my opinion, the best cut to use if you're slow cooking beef. You brine it for a couple of days.
Of course you do. My approach is straight from the freezer to the oven. Troy's now just been sick on the floor because he's a chef. Troy Terrington, what a great name that is. And you've got shoulders to go with it too. Stephen, where can we find out more?
Visit newcastle.co.uk for all participating vending offers.